Welcome along to episode 14 of A View from Section C. It's technically episode 14 and 15 put together, but obviously with not having our unforeseen circumstances, basically Larzo was working and we couldn't get much time before games or anything, so we thought we'll just do one big pile of pish in the one episode. So Larzo, how was work last week?
I'm sitting here. I've got my mobile phone on silent because I'm just waiting on it going. And I've got a funny feeling because people in the work know I'm doing the podcast tonight. So they're going to go for it and go, Junior keeps getting on about how unprofessional he is. You're going to start phoning me. And it'll just be a lot of pish. They'll just date for the sake of doing it. So you're going to get, for people who are listening, you're going to get a double set of me and you talking pish, and then you'll get people at my work coming on talking pish. There might only be one sane person in this whole podcast, and he's our guest.
And it's for special guests, so we do have a special guest tonight, and we'll just let that kind of build up, make you think, oh, who's it going to be? Until obviously I put the show out and then say who our special guest is.
We'll just say he's a legend. That's all we'll say.
Yep, a legend. But yeah, we'll just get straight into them. 4 games to review, obviously. We never had last week's episode. So we started that weekend with a home game against the Manchester Storm and then an away game against the Nottingham Panthers. So Manchester Storm, we were up and cruising in that game. Spencer Dorwich after 9:25 in the power play. Spencer Dorwich again, 13:31 in the power play. And then Philippe Songe at 21:36 had us 3-0 up. And then we lose on penalty shots. Tyson Fawcett, 29-13. Jared Van Wormer at 48-18 in the power play. Frankie Melton with the tying goal with just under 3 minutes to go. Cruising, and then gifted them 2 points.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. The game started really well. First game back with the crowd. The place was absolutely buzzing. And I think the team came off that energy that they were getting from the fans, absolutely flying, in cruise control, and then dead to death. And I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was complacency. Was it that Manchester woke up? I don't know. Because when that third goal went in, and it was, 1:36 into the second period, I'm thinking, we're on easy street here.
Yeah.
Absolute easy street. This could be 6-7 nothing here.
Yeah, I'd say we were absolutely flying. Tails were up. I don't know if it was. I don't think it was complacency. I don't think it was Manchester woke up. That's as good as Manchester can play. Every time I've seen them, it's about the same standard every time. I think we looked tired come that third period. It's like we gave everything in the first, and it's like we blew a tire come the third period, and just had to go through the motions to try and see it out. They got the tying goal, and then it's done. We got penalty shots and lose.
I really don't know what happened. I've been thinking about it even the night after we'd spoke about it, and then even at last week's game we were speaking about it, and I just it still really, really rails me how we managed to only come out of that game with 1 point. It really does, and I can't put my finger on it. It was like we went flat. As you say, you thought Manchester, that's the best they could be. I looked at it, I thought Manchester got better, but that might have been that they got better because we got worse.
We were,
But we just died in absolute death.
Yeah. So I don't know if it was that we put too much into it in that first period. And
it might well be.
It was like fans are back, we're going, we're giving them something to cheer about, and then it's wait a minute, we've not got anything left in the tank. It was disappointing. I'd say 3-0 up, and we got a point.
One thing that really got me was we even had the fight in that first period, and I thought that was going to set the tone. But then for some reason, and then what happened? Springer became the calmest person on the ice. And began to wind people up, and we fell for it.
Yeah, and that's the thing with Springer. Like it's, and I said it to you at the game. He looked scared at times.
Yeah.
Before that happened, he looked scared, and then all of a sudden, it's as if to say, right, okay, you've had your fight. You're not going to come after us again now because you'll probably get flung out for it. You know for a fact that referees are reffing your name into the game now. So let's see what happens. And he does. He gets Kyle the extra penalty, but he gloves him in the face later on. He's winding Charlie up. He's winding Campera up.
Yeah.
Okay, those guys didn't necessarily bite, but the intimidation's there of him winding them up.
Definitely. I actually thought, apart from the fight, right, because he did go turtle, he absolutely shot himself, let's be honest, right? He absolutely shot himself.
Yes,
right?
He did.
It was one of those hits. A lot of people saying it was a good hit. He backed in. I thought it was a bit high. And I could understand why Kyle went for him. Because when he hit Spencer, Spencer's sort of down and he looks up to go, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And then Kyle goes in.
The hit out. So Kyle's standing on our side of the rink looking at it. He sees it happening, right? At full speed, it looks like he lifts the elbow up when Dorowicz goes to glide into him.
That's what I thought. Watching
the replay from obviously the camera side, and you actually don't see his elbow doesn't move. He just steps up. I don't. Looking back on the replay, I don't think it's a bad hit at all from Springer. But at the time, at fast pace, right at the start, near enough, go and send a mark, go and set the tone for how this game's going to go, Kyle, and he did. But
I still think, whether it's the elbow or whether it's the shoulder, I still think it goes up the way. I think he's hitting up towards Spencer's sort of head. You know?
I thought it was, watching it back, I thought it was fine. At the time, I thought it was bad. But watching it back, it looked fine for me. But
it happens. As you say, it happens. And I think you're right what you're saying about it. But then he played the game. The rest of the game, he played it absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
Absolutely perfect. He did. And for much as everybody gave him stick, he played us. And some people fell for it, and some people never. I'm not saying it costs with the game, but what happens is it costs us penalties, right?
Yeah.
And the way we're playing, the guys that are playing 5-on-5, we can't afford it. We cannot afford it. You've got the guys on the power play are also penalty killing. And the guys who are penalty killing are always playing 5-on-5. No wonder we get tired in games, because guys like you look at Dylan Lawrence, for example. You look at Campera. He always plays the penalty kill. He doesn't play the power play. But there's guys who do. Spencer Dorowicz plays every opportunity, whether it be penalty kill, power play, 5-on-5. Dryden's another one. It takes it out of them.
Yeah, definitely. And then especially when it goes to overtime and then penalty shots, Dryden's out there for a good 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes at the start of overtime as well without getting the change, and 4-on-4 going to 3-3 and stuff like that. So it was disappointing to see for we to lose the game from the position we were in.
Definitely.
Before the game, we wanted 3 points from the weekend. Before the game, I would have took the point if we could have won the game in Nottingham. I wanted to win that game to stop Manchester getting points, but obviously they go out with the 2 points, which led us on to Sunday in Nottingham. So, again, we say it kind of every week, 2 quick-fire goals. Matthew Lane, 3:37 and then 6:42. Assists from Blarjon and Carosa. Dorowicz, our boy again, chipping in with a goal. Assisted by one of our own, Chris Ingles and Philippe Songe at 10:34. We then tie the game just before the end of the first period through Spencer Dorowicz again, 18:39. And then 18:50, we concede a quick fire goal again to go 3-2 at the end of the first.
Didn't even get me started on that. 11 seconds. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous that happened.
Face off, pass across, in the zone, goal, effectively.
Ridiculous.
Jordan Kelsall made it 4-2 at 26:37. And it seemed like we were still in it up until that point, but then obviously we pull Mo for the extra skater, and Christophe Boivin 58-57 with the empty netter to make it 5-2 Nottingham. Again, different kind of team now, Nottingham, since letting Wallace go. They're a bit more difficult to play against.
We said that when they were up at Dundee. We said they look a better team. They look a more sort of cohesive team than what they did when Wallace was in charge.
Yeah. So taking away that empty netter, a 4-2 loss isn't the worst of results in Nottingham, especially when they're on a fairly decent run again. And I know
I'm laughing. I'm laughing here because it's like, because we're doing this double done, we know what happens the next weekend when Fife go in there and Fife beat them.
I know.
Yeah.
But it's the thing with Nottingham is, on their day they're good. On a bad day, they're absolutely shit.
The thing is, Junior, you can say that about every team in the league.
Yeah.
When they're good, they're good. When they're shit, they're shit. But if you look at it from Nottingham down the way, it's anybody's game what gets into these playoffs. Yeah. All you need to do is get on a run. You get on a run, you're going to make it.
Yeah,
the top three are away. They've gone. We're not even looking at that.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
But coming out that weekend with only a point, we're thinking, right, we need to pick up at least 2, especially the home game against Guildford. But
that weekend was disappointing.
And I think coming the next Saturday, we're away to Sheffield. We come away with a 5-4 loss there. So Eberle with 2, Saxrud, Danielson and Sointu with the goals for Sheffield. And the guy that we've been crying out to get some ice time, Mr. Rutkiss, jumps in with 2 goals. Charlie as well, and obviously Songe. A 5-4 loss again in Sheffield. We kept it close. Could have came away with points. Disappointing we didn't, but we could have came away with them. And it goes to show, on our day we can compete.
Yeah, I think the result overshadows the performance. I think that performance was seemingly miles better. I never watched it, but it was miles better than the weekend before against Storm and Panthers. Absolutely miles ahead.
I was watching the proper Dundee derby. No United and Dundee. I was watching the Comets and the Tigers. That was a lot bit more interesting than the Dundee derby.
But we gave a good account of ourselves. A lot of Sheffield fans were saying that we were really unlucky. We should have taken 1, if not 2 points and stuff like that. End of the day, we'll come out with nothing. But the positives out of it has to be Rutkiss. Has to be.
Yeah.
We've been saying it for weeks. Why don't we play these guys?
I know.
Especially if you flip back the week before, Manchester, we're speaking about the guys look tired. The guys look tired. You've got 2 guys sitting on their arse.
Yeah. And it's say obviously. We'll come on to it a bit kind of later on. It's speaking about a certain someone who is our guest and is currently in the green room. But Callie, Robertson, and Tom's, ice time, especially when you're 2 imports down. Lawrence was out, Rongier was out, and by the looks of things, we're signing another import. Then it could be one of them's out longer term. They brought one to Sunday, and again, I think this for me. I'm going to be completely honest with some. I was very disappointed with the performance. And first couple of minutes were good. Then first period was after that was a bit poor, and then second period there wasn't really anything. But the third line again, when Callie was on and Toms was on, Latin gets a goal assisted by Garrigan. Charlie steps in to get the goal. Another quick fire goal from Songe. When we were 3-1 down to go 3-all, it's very rarely do we actually say this that we stole a point from a game.
We stole a point. We should have been blown out the water by that Guildford team.
Yeah, definitely.
However, I don't know how you think about this, right? I've spoke to a few people since that, right? Yeah. The game was delayed, and I know the players have got in the routine. They're ready for a 5 o'clock face-off. All right.
Yep.
We've been in Sheffield the night before. They're sitting in Fife. So they're probably the fresher team. even though they got beaten 5. Right, they're the fresh team.
Yeah.
We've came up. The guys need to get up early again. They go up to the rink. They're ready for a 5 o'clock face-off. And then you come out with this. They've got bus issues. Now,
I've already said it. They must have hit a pothole. They must have hit a pothole in Fife Ice Rink's car park. Must have.
A couple of guys have actually says to me, and I've wrote it down in my wee notepad down there, do you think it was gamesmanship? Do you think they were at it?
No, I don't. I don't think they were at it. Seemingly there was bus issues on the way up to Fife as well, the night before. But no, I don't think they were at it. I just think, it's difficult when, like you say, guys have got set routines of what they're going to do in the warm-up and that, and you can see that the fans started coming in, so they had to come away from their warm-up area because fans were going to the cafe. Then they cordoned off a little section for the guys to do a wee bit of running and that. They never got the proper stretch. I'm not using it as an excuse.
No.
But
no.
If you're in a set mind frame of what you do and how you warm up and how you get ready for a game, it could throw you off.
This may be someone we could ask for a guest.
Yeah, it is. Well, I think
how difficult is it once you're ready for that face-off and it's like you're delayed approximately an hour? What happens?
So I think it's probably a good time to bring in our special guest, and we'll do our preview of the weekend with him. So, if we welcome our special guest, Mr. Iain Robertson.
How you doing, Iain?
Can't hear you.
I can't hear him.
But as unprofessional as Larzo, which is fantastic.
Love it. Robo's making me look good.
Well, it's not very difficult, is it? Could be headphones. If you take your headphones out, it might work without headphones. No, give me 2 seconds, see if I can do something on my side. No, it's not coming through. This is always fun technology, isn't it?
Okay. We could just work with thumbs up, thumbs down. So, first question: Does the internet reach Kirkcaldy yet?
Wait. If you go at the bottom of your screen, it should have like a cam/mic setting. If you go into audio and check your mic setting there, should be able to get it from there, hopefully. Larzo, you could do a quick preview of your Giants doubleheader then.
Okay, Doc. Now, I'll let you deal with Robo then. Yeah, Giants twice this weekend. I'm worried. I'll tell you that. I'm worried about the Giants weekend. And the reason that I'm worried is when you look at what happened to them last night in Coventry and they give Coventry 7. That is a bit scary. I know that Coventry had a few guys out on their COVID protocol. And it's going to be a hard one. Really, really difficult for us. We are going to come up against probably the form team in the league at this point in time. I think they're probably in better form than Sheffield. But it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting when we get the Boucher-Haas connection on the ice again. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. Obviously, they pumped. Was it Clan?
Company.
No, Company. Sorry,
7.
Yeah, Company
7-1.
Yeah. We might have a stream here.
You hear me?
There you go.
Going back to the old phone.
Marvellous. How are you doing, San?
No bad.
Good.
And yourself?
I'm good, Ian. I'm good. Welcome along. Thank you very much for being our very first guest on A View from Section C.
I'm pleased to be here. Be the first one, may as well.
Yeah.
So as I said, obviously, to start off these kind of ex-player interviews that we're looking to do, for people who may not know who this man is, he's an idiot, as we gave him the big whole spiel 2 weeks ago of being a British hockey legend. Iain played for the Stars for 3 seasons in the Northern League and the Celtic Cup days. He was our final player coach before the Elite League era started. But although we say Stars legend, we must admit he is also a Fife legend as well.
Yeah.
So we don't really like to speak about that a lot. He is a Fife legend. But we noticed the other day on Facebook, though, that he updated his profile picture to him in a Stars jersey. So must prefer the Stars.
Yeah, I'm getting that wee air to my voice now, so I'm more Dundee.
More Dundee.
But yeah, so good to have you along, Robo. As we say, 3 seasons with the Stars in kind of Northern League and the Celtic Cup. Obviously, a year spent coaching after Roger Hunt kind of stepped down and stuff. But what would you say kind of your most kind of favourite, best moment that you had in the Stars organisation?
Probably it was sort of my last year when I was a player coach. I think we won the Autumn Cup against Fife.
Yeah.
It was a 2-leg game and we absolutely demolished them basically.
Mm-hmm.
And it was that's certainly worth remembering about because we had a lot of injuries that year as well. And we had players leave later on in the season, so we kind of struggled later on. Mm-hmm. But when had the whole team for that final, it was just all one-sided. I say we were right up for it, obviously. And no, I'll never forget that. That's the only cup I ever won with Dundee, I think, the 3 years. It's always got to finals, but we always got missed it with Solway and Fife. But no, it was good to win that and be player coach.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. I think that was also the season that Jeff's brother came and played. I think we had Ross Marshall as well. I think we had both Marshalls playing.
That's right. It was Jeff and Ross. I think did Ross come over at the start of the season? I can't remember now.
I think I remember seeing both of them in that photo of after.
Oh right, aye. He must have been then, aye.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was. As you say, we didn't have a lot of trophy wins kind of then as well. They had a good Solway side against where Fife were obviously always strong, especially with having Dutium there for so long and having the same kind of system going every season. But yeah, that was a good one.
No, it was good to. I think Dundee Star was the only team I haven't played for up until I was about 37 years old. So. I've been everywhere else, but when Roger phoned me, I'd actually been at Tigers the year before.
That's right, yeah.
Then I retired again for about the third time, and Roger phoned, I thought, why not?
Yeah.
It was Hagen
why not?
It was Hagen that was there, so I got a lift up the road for free, so that was all right.
See, typical Fife, anything for free.
Well,
it's when you look back in and you think that yourself, Hagee, even Wish, we're all Fife players, and all of a sudden, and Davey, your mate Smithy, and all of a sudden, you guys you've crossed the bridge, and you're suddenly all wearing Dundee jerseys at the same time. For us at that time, because we only had the Stars, there was nothing bigger. For us, that was a big thing. Guys like yourself, Hagee, Davey signing, and then even Liam playing. And Wish, all these Fife guys suddenly weren't playing at Fife. They were all playing for Dundee. That must have been really strange for you.
To be honest, I don't think there's many Fife boys actually playing for Fife for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
But I know what reason, but I don't want to go into that. But you probably find most, apart from maybe especially the King brothers and that, virtually every Fifer's moved somewhere else at some point in his career.
Yeah.
And it's just the way it's always been. Nothing's going to change up the road or down the road from yourselves. But it wasn't particularly strange. It just happened. I got asked later on and there was a bit slower, and like David was a bit older as well, so we weren't quite the same as what we used to do, but it was all good fun. At least we won a trophy. That was cool.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We were speaking just before you came on, before we went kind of on the air, and we couldn't remember if you were involved in that crazy trip with the Latvians when they started throwing shovels and batteries and everything on the ice. When
I think it was.
Callum McEachern kind of kicked off on the bench with someone.
I definitely went to the Latvian drink in Dundalk.
Yeah.
And I can remember it was like midday games and everyone was drunk on the vodka in the seat.
Yeah. I remember the lights were out. There was no one in the rink other than kind of us to begin with. And then the lights went out, the lights go on, and the rink's full of Latvian supporters. And then you're going out end of the period and they're drinking bottles of vodka for the boot of the car. It was absolutely mental. But yeah, I'll never forget that shovel thrown and batteries on the ice and everything just because they had a fight.
I know. No, they were mad.
Oh, I think that was I think it might have been the same game where they had a big fighter. I can't mind his name. It's Iain something, and he was the big tough guy. And I remember JD telling me they were standing at the face-off, and he was at JD, and he kept going, "You want to go? You want to go?" And JD says to him, and he's pure Dundee accent, "Where are we going? Down the shops?"
Where are we going?
Oh, honestly, just
he was a big laddie.
He was a big boy, yeah. He was a big boy.
Is that what do they call it? When the wrestling fighters, the Conor McGregor thing, he's like in the ring.
The MMA, UFC guys, MMA guys.
He's probably a better fighter off ice than on ice because he wasn't very good in his skates. So.
Well, I remember one of the Irish guys that was at the game shouting, "Get Marshall, Jan, get Marshall," and we were like, "You take to fucking catch him first." No way, you're catching him. But no, they were some good trips towards those last kind of couple of seasons.
Oh, definitely, it was good. It was good times. Great room. Good band in the room.
Yeah. Even with trips to Whitley Bay and you know. Even before that, we had Billingham and Blackburn and stuff as well. There was some good trips where kind of after the SNL going into the Northern League and the Celtic Cup days, and then also coming into the Elite League. But obviously, since retiring, the Robo role has now been taken up by a young boy in Cali. You know, how does that feel? Kind of watching Cali kind of step into your shoes and kind of take on the Robertson name and keep it going in the Stars organisation?
Obviously, I'm glad he's at Dundee because I always thought, if there's going to play Elite League and you're localish, Dundee's obviously where you'd want to go because the same situation with Fife. You just don't know what's happening up there. And when he went down south and it didn't work out too good, he went for very little money down there. Like, wasn't getting a job off the rink, trained at night, so he was sitting in his rooms all the time with all the other teams. Local players are all working, so it just went kind of pear-shaped, and he didn't want to go back down just because he didn't want to do the same thing. At least he could stay up here and get a job in the summer, and it turns out he's like full-time in the Stars now, so no, it's good. I'm glad he's there. I'm hoping he stays there for a good few years if they'll take him, and he'll get more and more ice time as he progresses, and hopefully shows what he can do in the next few years.
We'd actually just touched on that, Iain, before you came on live about even the Sheffield game when Rutkus comes and gets ice time and he scores 2 goals, and then we go and we play the next night and it's Guildford, and within the first 3 or 4 shifts we looked down and I looked down and I'm thinking, with this Cali on the ice, and I don't know how you feel, and I probably difficult because it's your laddie. You probably think your laddie should get a lot of ice time. But for me, I think these guys should be getting regular ice time because they need to give these guys a break. Guys like Dorovic plays 5-on-4. He plays 5-on-5. He plays penalty kill, everything. I think if we're going to sign 4 lines, we should be playing 4 lines.
It's it's always easier to like watch the game up in the stands because I always think receiving's so much better. And like every shift that Cali goes and I scrutinise everything he does, and I've not really seen him make any proper mistakes, and so he's not done anything wrong. But it's one of these things when you're, because when I was younger, there was only 3 imports at the time, so you were thrown right into the game. You had loads of ice time. But I can imagine it's pretty difficult, confidence-wise, to have your 4 or 5 shifts a game. Then you've been for about 5 minutes, and you're conscious defensively all the time. Like he's probably more defensively minded than I've ever been because it's now a 14 import league, and if you make a mistake, it could end up in a goal. So
it costs a goal, yeah.
So I'm more minded about how he plays defensively, but no, he's been fine. I don't think there's been anything to moan about him. What opportunity he had, and particularly that last Sunday game, I thought he done really well when he was on.
Yeah,
so
he nearly chipped in. Yeah, he nearly chipped in with a goal near enough at the start of the game. I don't think it was obviously probably yourself willing it more than me, but I was sitting there willing it to go in and like go, like get there, and it just never felt his stick, and I was like, God.
No, it's tough. It's tough, but he's getting an opportunity up here, which a lot of young ones don't get. I think I've mentioned something on Facebook. Like, there's so many young boys that age group, and like Tom's age, Craig's age, they're all capable of doing minutes in the elite league. It's just given the opportunity. It's tough because it's a full-time job where you can't work during the day, so obviously you have to come and go a bit with your work. So it's difficult.
It's like you said on Facebook. So also saw your post about should be capped at kind of 10 imports. And looking for kind of the young Brits to kind of step up and give them the chance. Now, so I replied to you saying, no, you were wrong. It should be BNL and 8 imports and 8 Brits.
Well, even better.
Right back. I know, but it's what does having those 8 imports, like you say, it throws kind of the younger Brits in the deep end. But do you feel that for you, like you personally, do you feel that's what we should be doing to kind of get these younger guys to be brought onto a better game and to potentially go on and do bigger things in either British hockey or European hockey?
I think if they stick with the 14 imports, it's just going to be the same thing. Like, there's not going to be progression for British players wise. They've got the GB team, who half the teams maybe in their 30s.
Yeah.
And I think I said in one of the comments that people forget that the Dowds, the Lakowiczes, and who else is there? Like Ben O'Connor's era and that. When they all started playing at Cali's age and that age group, there was only 9 or 10 imports in the elite league back then. So that's how they got their opportunity, because they were thrown in at the deep end where they got more ice time. So, but there's not any different skill level in all the ones now than what your Dowds and that are. It's just because they got better opportunity with more playing time. I think the state of 14 imports, the GB team is going to struggle in years to come, because all the Brits, they don't have any power play time, they don't penalty kill particularly much, they don't have special teams, and they're going to get thrown into the GB team. They're like, it's all new to them. So if they want to look at the GB thing, they have to plan something like that.
Yeah, and then the question is, how many of them in the GB team actually have a British accent now?
But I think it's not as bad as when I was there. It was virtually 6 or 7 Brits in it, but now it's actually 5 or 6 dual reclasses. So it's not so bad, because I've got a lot of good GB players, but they are getting there's a good few coming up, obviously, but the majority are getting a wee bit older.
Yeah. And that's it. Because people will forget that, Ian, that these guys, even your Dowds and your Lakovic, it's natural. They're going to get older, but it's who's coming in behind them.
Yeah.
And as you say, the guys coming in behind them, there'll be a few that get ice time at the bigger clubs, but after that could be next to nothing.
Yeah. They're going to have to think. But elite league, they keep saying it's a business. It's about making money. I don't think there's hardly any team make money apart from the big teams.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure some of the non-arena teams, if it was suggested, like, let's drop the import level, they would go for it, because they don't even have to bring everyone keeps commenting the arena teams, but they'll just take all the GB players. But then that's what you want. You want the Dundee boys to play for Dundee. You want Fife boys to play for Fife, and Coventry boys to play for Coventry. They're only going to be GB level if they get to play.
Yeah.
Let the big teams have all the really good GB players. They're not going to be there forever.
Yeah.
5-6 years time, they're all going to be retired. So it's easy peaks. Yeah. It works. Yeah. It works down the line.
Yeah.
But that's what I think.
Yeah, no, I think because we've been at obviously my dad's as old as yourself, so they'll remember the 3 import days. Me personally just was SNL with the Tigers when they actually used to get 2,000 at a game, but then obviously my days was watching the BNL, so I'll be for it as well that it's less imports and more chance for British players coming through and young guys like Cali, Toms and Garrigan. But obviously, speaking of our guys, what's your kind of personal thoughts on this year's team? What's your standouts and what's your thoughts?
I'm pretty much the same. I've obviously been listening to your podcasts and stuff like that. I'm pretty much a big fan of Dorowich as well because his work ethic and his skating ability as well. I mean,
I know
it's so smooth and easy. It's just, you didn't notice it really at the start, even now he's come onto his game. It's just he just glides, but he's working his socks off. But it just looks like he's gliding all the time. He puts no effort into it, but he bumps everyone. He gets in the corners, digs the puck out. He scores nice goals like the other week. So I'd say he's the key. You got Charlie, obviously. Charlie's just Charlie. He's like, God, what's he going to do now? I like all round players, and Dorowich he's got everything. Yeah. He's a centreman. He does defensive work amazingly well. He knows his zone. He does all these small things that you don't notice properly, and no, it's good. I think the team. I think everyone thinks the potential's there to beat everyone.
Yeah,
it's just getting that consistency and put your bus trips away, bus legs, things like that. Come away from a long trip. But everyone has to do it. It's a case of
I think for me, and I think I've said it a few times, that we must be the most inconsistent team going. There's before COVID came in, so before Christmas, we were on such a great run, and we were beating anybody that was in front. We were beating. We were going wherever we went. We were thinking we're going to win games. Everybody was playing well, and then it comes to the sort of the Christmas period. The COVID begins to kick in again. We then struggle. We lose a few games. We then pick up a couple of points here. We then get another couple of good results, and then back we go again. We put in good performances like what we did in Sheffield, but we still come up with 0 points in Sheffield.
Yeah, we're always there or thereabouts, and it's just getting the COVID thing. I think the COVID thing put a big dent in their run because before that, I think there were 5, 6, 7 games had 5 wins. It was 5 or 6 wins. It was like 5
or 6 or something
on a roll, but then had the 2-week break, and it was like almost like starting your season again.
I know.
Yeah.
But I think they'll make the top 8, and they've got as good a shout getting to the final 4. And if you get there, who knows?
Who knows?
Anything can happen down there.
Definitely.
Be healthy. That's the main thing. Have to be healthy as well. So
that's it.
Yeah. That's it. Obviously, we've got those 2 guys kind of out now. We don't know if it's longer term with Lawrence and Ron J. But is it Quinn O'Brien or
Quinn O'Brien? Yeah,
Quinn O'Brien. It's not Brian O'Quinn. I keep getting mixed up.
Quinn O'Brien.
And another real guy coming in for us. Let go from the clan. Was it 1 goal in 14 or 15 games? But from the sounds of it, he's a bit of a kind of on the edge, physical type of player. And I think again that's what we need for.
Yeah, I think it helps the situation if we've got a long-term injury as well. I think this weekend, going with what Callie's saying, it's the first time they've had their full quota since the start of the year.
Right.
Okay.
So, unfortunately, is this win just going out Saturday?
Yeah.
I don't care when you put it. When do
Yeah.
you normally puts it on the Saturday, yeah.
Friday, Saturday.
Well, as far as I know, I don't think Cali will be dressing because the five Brit rule, you've got all your imports there.
Right.
Yeah.
The 19-player rule, which is ridiculous. I think,
And that's the other thing that I've had a massive rant about.
It just does not make sense that for me.
No, you can't even make 4 lines with 19 players.
Yeah,
I know.
And it's a Brit that has to drop it.
Yeah. No, but that's so. I know they're planning on being full healthy this year. Whether it's, I don't know who's going to miss, but I think the new guy's going to be playing for whoever's still injured.
Yeah.
So all going to plan. It's looking.
He's a big boy, yeah. Was he 6'4"? Yeah. So he's a big body. He's a wee shite to me, like, but he's a big giant to everybody else, like, you know.
Everyone's wee to you.
But yeah, so we thought we'd do a teammates with you as well. So a quick fire questions on who you think was the whatever in the category. Mm-hmm. So we could throw you under the bus with a couple of these. Okay. So quick fire. Who was the best trainer that you in your teammates?
Is that? Oh, you mean a best at training, or it's not a best as
best at training? Yeah.
It has to be with his professionalism. Doug Smale. He came in at 35 years old, and he was always like, "You got to play how you train," or was it train how you play? Was that way around?
Yeah.
He was like flying about practice, and like we were like, back then it was more laid back, lackadaisical in that training, and he's balling up and doing nice. But always it brought us all in. It was like, well, this is a bit different.
Yeah.
So he kind of set the tone for like come from straight from NHL to Fife. It's like you got
to drop there, eh?
Try and keep up with them. So, and I think for the ones that I can't think who else. Because it was that long ago now. It was. I maybe if I was going to be for Dundee, I'd have to say Jeff Marshall. Marshall was always like being a D man and doing 1-on-1s, 2-on-1 is like he was impossible to get around because he just made it look easy again. He was just a quality boy.
I think I've always said about Marshall was I think he could skate as well going backwards as what he did going forwards.
Yeah, just as quick, quick going backwards.
Yeah.
No, definitely.
Who was your worst trainer? Who was the drill kill? He's sitting there thinking, "Well, I say myself."
Well, he's sitting there thinking, "Well, am I going to mention my drinking mates? Is it going to be Smithy or is it going to be Plusey?"
It could be either that or it could be JD because he never stopped talking in the training and he didn't have to train. He was just good anyway. It didn't matter how hard he trained or no. He just like, right boys, how you doing? And just like talking in the train, like out of breath. He's just talking the way. It's like. There's probably me because I wasn't the best listener on the board. And you had people in your ear like Davy Smith and Bluesy and folk like that.
There they are.
I always remember Davy used to, because he didn't listen at all, he always used to go to the end of the queue for drill because he never paid attention to what the coach was saying on the board. He just watched other 2-3 boys doing the same drill. And then he got it. It was good to go.
That might need to be we might if we do ever get permission from Omar and the stars, it might be a question we need to ask one of the players. You know, does anybody go to the back of the queue every time to watch who does the drills for a couple of times first so they can do it themselves?
There's a lot of players do it because on the board some things look really complicated. Eh? So you've got to give yourself a bit of time to see, like, I'm not being the drill buster going first anyway. Let some other people do it.
Brilliant. Moving on from that, who would you say is the most skillful player you've played with?
You're probably not going to remember this boy, but again, because I've played most of my time at Fife. You remember Darcy Cahill?
No.
Not for me.
He was back in early 90s. Actually, I think it was the year I think Fife got relegated. But he came after me. He was out of shape. He was chubby. He was really slow. But he was doing things with the puck that what boys are doing nowadays. It was like unreal watching him. But he just done it at a different pace. Because I always remember him because I went to a junior A camp in Canada when I was 16, and he was a year younger than me. And we were coming up. It was just a training camp. It was nothing to do with junior A. It was just called that. And he was like drafted first to the junior A. It was something like, is it Kingston or somewhere we're playing?
Mm-hmm.
And he was a big hot dog just being drafted. He was skating about the ice and he slapped a puck and it smashed the plexi. And all of us were going, oh my God. But then years and years later, he showed up like three stone overweight, slow, drinking every night. And but to be honest, the things he could do with puck was amazing. Amazing back then. But a lot of folk won't remember him and they just remember him being a lazy player and low and not very good, but his hands were unreal.
Yeah.
Obviously there's NHL players, but I just thought throw him in because it's something it always sticks in your mind that for years
definitely.
ago before everyone remembers stuff.
Yeah.
But no, I'd say that's about him.
Yeah, I think I know the answer for the next one, but who is probably the biggest joker?
It's Davey.
Yeah.
Davey Smith.
Yeah, it's going to be Davey.
The pranks and all that. Oh God. No, I can't even tell you all the stuff he done. If you come to the podcast, it's before the watershed here, so.
the thing is, like,
they done buses to imports and set their laces on fire in the bus. Oh my God! When they were sleeping, it's like I'll say no more, but I definitely he's not changed anyway.
Well, I was away to say that even when Davey played, like you could tell during the game that Davey was the joker on the team. You just knew it. But yeah, best player ever played with.
Again, to go back to Fife, Laurie Bushman. Remember him? It was the same time as Dougie Smale. He only came in for half. He came in for half this. He came from this the Winnipeg Jets. It was pals with Doug Smale, and Doug Smale brought him across. But because Fife had the Smale, Morrison, King line as their first line, Bushman had to play with me on the second line. But no, he's another. If you look up a few elite prospect him and that, you see his stats like pure quality. It was like, he was tough as well. He was tough as nails. No one gave him any grief. I remember Ross Lambert played for Nottingham.
Yeah, mind that name.
He started on him at Fife one day, and he just picked him up and ragdolled him. So they watched these YouTube clips. I think it was Eurosport back then. What he used to do in the NHL. But, there's other ones because I don't know if you know, but because I went to Calgary Flames training camp, I played with all your Theo Fleury's and Al McInnes and Dougie Gilmore. But there was someone there that stood out. Again, if you want to look up his stats, you've never heard of him. Someone called Andrew McKim, and he was exactly like Charlie Combs, but 20, 30 years ago. Same height, 5'7", skill. He stood out in the NHL camp, stood out a mile, but because of his height, he never got a fair crack at the NHL. He only played 30 games. He bounced about a couple of teams, but he went to the DEL in Germany, and he lit it up there. But he was just like your Charlie Combe 30 years ago. And he was just small and like he was a year younger than me. It was amazing, I thought, to play with, because I played for the farm team in the exhibition games. And it's like the quality over there is just unreal at that standard. It's like but have a look on his stats, you'll see Andrew McKimmy's name was.
So, going on from your best player played with, who was the best player you ever played against? All these names running through the head now.
I'm going to say best or hardest to play against, maybe. about Scott Young for Dundee.
Yeah.
Right.
He was an absolute nightmare. Plus, he was amazingly skillful as well.
Yeah.
And he was tough and he was hard on you. I always wanted to think, I wouldn't mind playing in a team with Scott Young because he was so difficult as a forward, as a D-man to play against.
Yeah.
I can't think who else.
Especially with that big ginger tash looking at you.
Just growling.
Yes.
I remember I was stuck on the court at Dundee one time. And, oh my God, I was like, oh no. He was like, he knew accidentally. He never actually done anything. I was like, sorry, Scott. Sorry, bud. I don't want to do that very often.
Nah, Scott was a top player. Definitely was a top player for us.
I try to think who else. I can't think of anyone else off the top of my head. It was that long ago. It's hard to say.
Yeah. Go on, Iain.
Like Rick Brabant. Rick Brabant, for example. Durham.
Yeah.
He was like amazing. Amazing. And he played for a long time as well. He went to Super League, played till his late 30s, but skillful. He was a whole package as well.
Yeah.
Just tough, wouldn't back down to anyone. I like all this sort of all-rounders more than scorers or defensive players. I like the full package players.
Yeah.
That's the ones I can think of off the top of my head anyway.
Yeah. And finally, Lars always gets me to ask these questions when I used to do them for the programme and stuff. But who was the final question? Who was the longest in the shower?
you can tell that any way you want, Iain, right? Whatever way you want, right?
I couldn't tell you because it wasn't me, because I was that quick to try and get to the bar for a pint. So I've never known who was the longest ever. If there's 3 stories on the go, I was right at the door.
I'll bet you.
Oh dear. But yeah, no. I appreciate you coming on, Robo.
It's not a problem. It's been fun.
The first one with first ex-player that we've had on, so it's good to get him on. We were just obviously had that wee minor technical issue at the start. We were just speaking about what our thoughts are going to be for Giants this weekend. Obviously, from a fan and a kind of ex-player and coach as well. What's your thoughts on the Stars this weekend? What do you think we should be kind of aiming for there?
You've got to go for the split, I think. 2 points. Anything more is a bonus.
Yeah.
Let's try and win one of the two. If you can win one of the two, don't see why you can't win them both, to be honest. But but everyone has to be on their A game. It's Belfast are like a different kettle of fish. Yeah. They're thick top to bottom in talent. So I think it might.
That's right. Well, I think it'll depend on who they play as their starting netminder on Friday night. Yeah, I think that'll dictate what happens at the weekend.
Yeah, I think it'll be Besco.
I think it'll be Besco to play Friday night.
Every time we've beat them, it's been Jackson in the goal. So he's got to go with Besco, I think. But
I think
Carl Pickenich up. So what a player he is. Good old
he's been doing the business. I've seen that.
Unreal. We've mentioned that a few times, Robo, that the guy JJ Pickenich, what a player he is. He's suddenly, when the first sort of the Challenge Cup games, I never sort of paid much attention to him in games, never sort of seen much, and then he's just lighting the league up now.
Yeah, I think his line with Conway, is it Conway and is it Good? What's his captain's name? Goodwin. I think they were a line at one point. They were doing all the damage, but they've got 3 proper lines there.
And as I said, as I texted you the other week, that I didn't realise it was Kevin Conway's young lad that was.
All right, Kevin
Conway for Belfast. Yeah, I didn't realise it was him until a few weeks ago.
It shows our age. Kevin was a wee bit older than me.
Yeah, he was still playing when Stars went SNL. He was still playing with Solway to begin with.
Right. He came to Solway. That's when he was at the end of his career.
Yeah, it was at the end of his career. Kevin Conway, he was a player as well.
Oh, goal scorer. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
But,
No, I can remember.
But yeah, hopefully.
Him and Timmy Salmon together was like a lethal combination. If you remember him, he was at Airwell, they went to Basingstoke.
Yeah, that's right. Remember Salmon at Ayr? I can't mind him going at Basingstoke as much, or it might be in the opposite way around. But I remember Conway and Salmon playing together. Like,
no, they were great, really good.
Yeah. But as I say, hopefully, at least 2 points out this weekend, even if it's taken one from each game. But a 2 point, I think, is a must for us to get back into that playoff fight again.
Even an overtime shootout.
Games in hand. Yeah.
yeah. No.
If we could take penalty shots.
We just want 2.
Penalties. We are shocking with the penalties, by the way. We need to get somebody up there to coach them how to take penalties.
John.
I think every team practices their penalty shots at the end of the training, so it's one of these things. It's so difficult. I mean, unless you're a specialist in penalty shots, which there's not many over here that are playing in the NHL. So, it's a luck of the draw, like everyone says. It's hard when you can't just get over the final hurdle to get that point. But hopefully it'll change.
Fingers crossed. Well, again, thanks for joining, Robo. Much appreciated. Lars, any of your final thoughts for the podcast this week?
Me, I'll agree with what the legend says. If we could take 2 points for Belfast, whether it's on the Friday or the Saturday, I'll take 2. If we get any more, it's an absolute bonus.
Yeah, definitely.
And on behalf of me as well, Iain, thanks very much for coming on, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure. No doubt we'll see you at the rink at the weekend at some point.
Yeah, I'll be there, no doubt.
Yeah, definitely. But that's us for this week. Hopefully, we're higher next week and we're speaking about at least one victory against the Giants. Until then, see you later.
Thank you very much. Cheers. See you after.